What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Wealth Hacker Labs. I'm your gracious host, Jeff Rose. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Wealth Hacker Labs. I'm your gracious host, Jeff Rose. And I must say, I feel like I failed you. See, I have done countless YouTube videos where I just firmly believe that there would be a second stimulus check being issued. Not only have I done YouTube videos on it, I have written articles on Forbes talking about how basically this is something that they have to do. And this is not just based off my gut. I mean, some of it was, but also too, President Trump came out and said in his own words that there would be a second stimulus check and that it would be very generous. But yet here we find ourselves almost at the end of September, at the end of August, and there still isn't a second stimulus check issued. So does this mean that there isn't going to be a second check? Well, right now I'm changing my tune a little bit, and I'm here to say that, sorry, America, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a second stimulus check after all. And let me actually have a chance to share why my tune has changed and just kind of give you some stuff to consider. All right, so in case you want the shorter version and you don't want to watch this entire video where I discuss all of the different points here, I'll make it easy for you. I actually just published this article on Forbes where I talk about what I just said. Sorry, America, but the second stimulus check may not happen after all. And as I mentioned, not only did I do videos about this, but I also wrote an article. This is back on July 10th. And the title of this article was that Congress had no choice but to pass a second stimulus bill. And that was this article here. Well, turns out they still have it. And we had the HEROES Act like that already. It went through the House. We were waiting for the Senate, to pass. And then everything that's happened, every indicator seemed like it was pointing towards a second stimulus check going to happen. And we've had numerous, obviously the Democrats have been all about this from the get-go. Finally, the Trump administration started to jump on, the second stimulus check parade, and had different members, of his administration that were basically supporting it. And yet it still hasn't happened. But the part that really doesn't make sense, because when you actually look at the reasoning and the rationale of why a second stimulus check should have been passed and still should be passed, I mean, there's so many different signals in science saying that it is still needed. And just some of these here, we've got unemployment. Unemployment did not go away. And the most recent stats released for the week ending August the 15th, the number of new claims for unemployment for the week ending August 15th spiked to 1.1 million. So we're still seeing unemployment numbers go up. I mean, it's still much of an issue. And then we have housing. This is another huge issue, is with housing. And while homeowners, they were able to put their mortgages in forbearance where they didn't have to make the payments, but it's not like the principal was just got forgotten and they just kind of just waved and say, hey, don't worry about your mortgage, you don't have to pay that anymore. It just got added to the balance, and you have to start making those payments again. And for homeowners, they probably got the easiest, but really it's for renters. Those that are renting, those are the ones that have had the biggest hurdle to overcome, because you've got evictions, you've got, trying to keep up with the fact that unemployment is still there. As far as I can tell, renters didn't, or landlords didn't decrease the rent for, many of their occupants. And if you look at this stat, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this really quick so you can read it. So an analysis from global advisory firm Stout Ross estimates that more than 40% of renter households in the U.S. are going to experience rental shortfall during the COVID-19 crisis, with just under 12 million facing eviction over the next 4 months alone. Around 17 million are likely to be impacted through the pandemic. I mean, renters, like this is a scary, scary time. And especially when you look at the fact that we had the unemployment. So, all right. So unemployment ended. Those that were getting the $600 a week, they finally extended it, but the unemployment was reduced from 600 down to 300. And there has been a delay on people actually getting the payment. So like there's almost like, I think over a month and a half, 6-week delay that those unemployment checks aren't being received. So then you have those that are still trying to pay the rent. I mean, that's what it just seems like. Once again, common sense here, why a second stimulus check seemed like it was needed as part of this second stimulus package that went into force. And the other key thing, which we all know here, is that COVID isn't going away. We're still seeing a rapid increase, maybe not rapid, but we're still seeing just numbers are not dissipating. We've seen outbreaks in all across the nation, different hot pockets, not in all urban areas. We've seen it in rural areas as well, just depending on like what is going on. So these are, once again, like this was a lot of the rationale and reasoning of why the first stimulus check was issued. And we look at, what has really changed from now until then. I mean, it really hasn't. Like, we're still dealing with the same stuff. So once again, back just last month, President Trump, he did sign the executive order. I'm sorry, on August the 8th is when he signed this executive order with the unemployment benefits. And there's actually an article, and I'll have a link to this one as well, just talking about how, initially it was meant to be a $400 benefit, but this was contingent upon states funding 25% or that $100 per week. But many states basically said, no, like we're not going to do that. So really when it came down to it, the federal unemployment benefit went from $600, didn't reduce down to $400, it actually reduced down to $300. So it was cut in half. And I reckon I just misspoke earlier. I said to mention it was almost 6 weeks, but the federal unemployment extension is just $300 and doesn't begin to go into effect until August the 29th. So it goes effect until the 29th. I mean, we do not know, are checks actually being issued on the 29th, or is it going to take several weeks? Now, we hope not, since they got the system in place. But it's one of those things we're not going to hold our breath, hoping and expecting that $300 check is going to be there waiting for us on the 29th of August. So is it really time to give up hope for a second stimulus check? I mean, the most concerning thing, other than everything I've already mentioned, is what is going on, with U.S. Senate. So right now, they have gone on their August recess, and they are not scheduled to return until September the 8th, the day after Labor Day. And, when you was thinking that something would get done before the end of July, that would then take about 15 business days or so that a check would be issued. We're looking at like mid-August. Now they're not meeting back until September the 8th. And it's just like, well, I guess just the question is why? I mean, why didn't it happen? It really doesn't make sense to me. But, the only thing that maybe I can assume or guess, I mean, this is purely a hunch. I mean, it is end of August. Obviously, you got elections and everything else coming up. So, does that mean that putting it off so that there can be some amazing stimulus package issued that just gets votes? I don't know. Like, I don't want to go down that path, conspiracy theory of why everything has been put on hold. But right now, like I will tell you, as far as hoping that a second stimulus check is going to get issued anytime soon, like right now, there is little to no hope that I have. So ultimately, that just means, it comes back on us. And, one of the things I really talk about here on the Wealth Hacker channel, and I've been talking about for most of my life, is not being dependent on someone else, not being dependent on another entity. In this case, it is the United States government. So, what do you need to do today? What do you need to do today to basically create your own stimulus? And that's going to be different for everyone, depending on where you live, depending on your economic situation, depending on just everything going on in your life right now. But the one thing that we all have in common is that there is something that you can do today that can potentially change your future outcome for years to come. I don't know what that is for you, but it's a matter of just trying to figure that out. One thing that might be a resource, and I'll have a link for this in the description in the show notes for you, is that we have basically a guide that shows you how to make extra money on the side. There is no cost to this. It was just something that we put together as a resource for those that were really looking to make some extra money right now because of the crazy times that we are in and people are struggling. So if there are interesting or creative ways that you can make a little bit extra money just to help pay for your rent, help pay for groceries, help pay for your mortgage, help pay for whatever you need help paying for, that's what this guide was created. So once again, no cost to this. Have a link in the description. You can sign up for it. It's digital, just download it, and hopefully you can apply that to your life and start making a little extra money. And everything counts right now. And if you're looking to start building wealth, start obtaining wealth, you got to start somewhere. And for those, making a little extra money on the side might just be the trick. But right now, don't hold your breath for a second stimulus check unless there is some drastic, amazing thing that happens, which I'm not expecting. Don't count on it. All right, y'all. Hope to. I feel bad having to share all this negative news, but the positive thing is that you can be in control. You can be in control of your own financial future. It's all about what are you going to do today? What's the number one action item that you need to implement to start whatever that journey is? All right, y'all. This is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.